Welcome to Bexley English 3. The first video I have already read the passage, so go check out that video before you watch this. I've explained every sentence, every paragraph in detail. Now this video it will be looking at questions 1 to 13. Here we go. Step 1, I want you to turn the mic all the way up. Here we go. I'm going to lean back. That way. Good. All right, here we go. Please answer these questions. If you've got this pack in front of you, great. If you've got it online, here it is, page 8 out of 133. The name of this passage, well, I read it yesterday. Deer Island. A memoir by Neil Ansell. Question 1. State their claim. This quote shows the herring gulls are what? All right, I'm going to paste a passage here to make it very useful. I've just pasted it up top. Let's read line 1 and 2 again. It is spring and the herring gulls have staked their claim on the roof opposite. That just means they're on the roof and now it belongs to them. They're saying this is my property. Let's have a look at the choices when I tell my students to do comprehension questions. 1 means it can be and 0 it cannot. So could it be vicious? That just means they're being really nasty. No. Demanding. Are they asking for a lot? No. They're just putting their feet on the roof saying, this roof belongs to me. No. Greedy. I'm not sure. That's okay. Uncertainty is fine. That's how you will feel when you do these kind of questions. Maybe you think the seagulls are being greedy because they're saying, well, this roof belongs to me. 1. Assertive. Well, assertive saying this belongs to me. Yes. E. Patient. Not a positive word here. Well, patient is being positive, but what I'm saying is seagulls, not at all. So it's either C or D. What do you guys think? You have 5 seconds, then I will reveal the answer. The answer is D. The seagulls are acting in a very assertive way, saying the roof belongs to us, not really being greedy. That's actually saying you want too much. So maybe if they were being greedy, the gulls would say they stake their claim on this roof and that roof and that roof and that roof. So 10 different roofs all belonging to seagulls. That sounds pretty greedy to me. D is the answer. Next. Question 2. What is first light? Lines 3 and 4. So same thing. I'm going to paste a passage right now. Let's read it together here. There are 6 pairs evenly spaced along the length of the block. I know there are more pairs than I can't see on my own roof. They start calling at first light. That just means they are, well, shouting at each other. Could it be when the street lights turn on? Street lights only go on when it is dark. Which is quite interesting, isn't it? You see on, so you think, daytime. No, nighttime. What a fantastic option there. So it should not be A. When the moon is high in the sky, that's kind of like A. If the moon is up, it is nighttime. Therefore, it is time to switch on your lights. 0. When people start turning their lights on in the morning, could be. When the sun is high in the sky, maybe. So yeah, maybe they're shouting at each other when the sun is there. High in the sky, 6 a.m. The day has just begun. Well, daylight has come in. E. When light from the sun begins to appear. Okay, those are the choices. Pick. You have 5 seconds. It's not the first two. It looks pretty close to me. Let me have a go. Oh, I know the answer anyway. You turn on your lights in the morning? No. When the sun is high and when light from the sun appears in the sky. It's just too close. When the sun is high, that could be midday. Maybe that's a bit later on in the day. You see, I know the answer is E, but it's not a great question. It's way too close. Let's just make sure. E is the answer. First light. Next, question 3. Question 3, just going to paste now above question 2. What type of word is cackling in line 4? Now, without this sentence, I would say it's just a verb. If you're cackling with each other, it sounds like you're laughing. We can't do that. We cannot do that. We must refer to a line and then find the answer. They start calling at first light from a conversational quick-fire cackling to a full-on heads back beats wide yodeling. So it sounds like maybe they start talking and then later they're shouting. What strange language. But you see that green box? That gives it away. Conversational. You're being told what's happening. They're talking to each other. That's an adjective. Right, ADJ. Quick fire means, well, really quick conversation. It's a type of conversation. Noun. Cackling, they're just talking. Noun. Adjective, noun, that's the answer. Even though it kind of sounds like a verb, not today. Next, question 4. Question 4. Which word is least appropriate to describe the noise the gulls make? Alright. Question 3. It was saying cackling. That's a loud noise. Seagulls, so annoying. So, irritating is out because that means annoying. Unpleasant, same thing. So A and B out straight away. High-pitched, it could be. Later on it says yodeling. Yodel sound. It goes from cackling to yodeling. When people do that type of singing, it's very high-pitched. Later, well, we know the gulls wake him up, even though he gets used to hearing the seagulls because he lives in that part of England. He gets used to that loud sound, and that's what clamorous means, loud. What strange question. Really difficult kind of question, just describing, just looking at all these adjectives. Sonorous is the answer. That means a loud, booming sound. Boom, boom. Very difficult to go through this. It's okay. Here's proof, guys, just in case. Everything I said was here. We got it. Next bit, cackle. That's A and B. Write it with me. Don't be lazy. Yodel, high-pitched. There. That one. And he gets woken up. We know Ansel gets woken up. Just says there's noise, really. Clamorous. Noisy. Done. E is the answer. Boom sound. Next question. Question 5. Which language technique is not used in the second paragraph? So with these kind of questions, it is okay to... Yeah, you can skip these. They're too long. Too long. Skip, but then make a note, and then you come back at the end. I say this to all my students, not to be lazy, but this is called strategic skipping. It is okay to skip a question that might be taking too long. Why? Because it says not used in the second paragraph. So you have to check all this just to get 1 mark. You might as well do 6 to 13, then come back. Okay, that might be better. Do 6 to 13 and then you come back. Alright. But we're discussing it, so I'm going to just paste the answer, then explain it in that way. Here we go. Here's the mark scheme just to help me because it's just too long. We care about the technique not used. So, if you don't believe me, line 12. More and more for granted. This was when Neil Ansell, he was saying, what's he taking more and more for granted? The beauty of Brighton. More and more is just repetition. You're using that word twice. Why don't I do this more often? He wishes he could wake up earlier and go along the seaside. Early hours. So quiet. Walk along the beach. Beautiful. And then he can enjoy it. But guess what? He just takes it for granted. So you get used to something, which is what I mentioned in the first video. It's called, in psychology, it's called hedonic adaptation. Something really good happens in your life, and guess what? Your brain just adapts, and then you don't even notice it. It's just part of normality. So easy to take things for granted. So there's your rhetorical question, because it's like we're asking a question, but you're not expecting to answer it, because not really having a conversation. Okay, last question for this video, because we're 10 minutes in, then I'll make another comprehension follow-up. We have siblings. This was brand new for me. When I looked at this, I thought it was siblings, so maybe in this story he's talking about a relation between brother and sister to him. But it turns out siblings is just a soft S sound. Never knew that. Sounds like light repetition. Sight of the see so. So it's like spaced out repetition, even as see and so are together, but there's a spacing out there because they're couple words nearby. So sibilance, in my opinion, is called light repetition. And then one more onomatopoeia. That makes perfect sense. I wouldn't even put that, because we heard throughout this passage, seagulls, of course they're going to make noises. Cackling, yodeling, that was the previous question. So no way. And here in the mark scheme, you see they've gone for crunch in line 19. There we go. So really the one that we haven't mentioned is simile. They're being really tricky with that one, because when we look at English comprehension, especially fiction tests, fiction texts, fiction passages, then we might be comparing one thing to another, because language in comprehension pieces tends to be creative, tends to be descriptive, and a popular descriptive device is a simile, just like a metaphor. Very popular devices, just like alliteration. But there we go. Simile is not used in the second paragraph. That is it, guys. 12 minutes in. So, normal way for me to end the video. I don't want it to be too long, or else none of my students will watch it. I appreciate this fact. If you're doing something that is very difficult and very long, people don't even bother starting. So I'm going to keep this short, 12 minutes. My normal way to end. Top left corner, it will be maybe another English video or vocab video. No. Top left corner will be the next one. No. Shush. Top left corner will be reading the text together. If you haven't done that yet, I explain everything in a lot of detail with a lot of enthusiasm, because it's the first time I read it. That's top left corner. And then bottom left corner will be questions 6 onwards. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.